Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to every woman who has ever been told to be quiet, to be gentle, to shrink herself to fit into a world that demands obedience over strength. I want to tell you this: stop being soft in a way that lets the world walk over you. Stop being afraid of your own power. It's time to become strong. It's time to become fearless. Women have been told for generations that their greatest strength lies in their softness, their ability to be gentle, nurturing, and accommodating. While kindness and compassion are beautiful qualities, they should never come at the cost of personal strength, self-respect, and resilience. The idea that a woman must always be soft, submissive, or agreeable is a deeply ingrained belief that has held many back from realizing their full potential. Strength is not about being harsh or aggressive, but about standing firm in who you are, knowing your worth, and refusing to be diminished by anyone's expectations. A woman who embraces strength understands that life will test her and the world will not always be kind. There will be times when she will be doubted, underestimated, or even dismissed. In those moments, it is not softness that will carry her through, but an unshakable inner strength that refuses to break under pressure. It is the ability to face challenges head-on, to rise after failure, and to keep moving forward despite the obstacles in her way. Strength is about persistence, endurance, and an unwillingness to surrender to circumstances that seek to define or limit her. Many people confuse strength with arrogance or coldness, but true strength is neither. A strong woman does not need to be loud or domineering to make an impact. Instead, she carries herself with quiet confidence, knowing that her worth is not dependent on the approval of others. She does not shrink herself to make others comfortable, nor does she allow herself to be manipulated into believing she is less than what she truly is. She understands that she does not owe the world softness at the expense of her own dignity. There is an old belief that being strong means being tough in a way that shuts out emotions. This is not true strength. Real strength allows vulnerability but does not allow it to be exploited. A strong woman can feel deeply, love fiercely, and still walk away from people and situations that do not respect her. She can be kind without being a pushover, compassionate without being taken advantage of, and loving without sacrificing her own self-worth. Strength does not mean never feeling pain or fear. It means choosing to rise above those feelings instead of being consumed by them. Women have historically been expected to sacrifice their own ambitions and desires for the sake of others. They have been taught to be caretakers, to put everyone else's needs first, and to equate selflessness with virtue. While caring for others is admirable, it should never come at the cost of neglecting oneself. A strong woman understands that she cannot pour from an empty cup. She prioritizes her own growth, happiness, and well-being because she knows that she deserves the same love and care she gives to others. Strength is about knowing when to say no, when to set boundaries, and when to walk away from situations that drain her rather than empower her. Resilience is a crucial part of being a strong woman. Life will not always be fair, and there will be moments of disappointment, heartbreak, and struggle. A strong woman does not allow these moments to define her. Instead, she learns from them, grows through them, and emerges even stronger. She refuses to let failure break her spirit because she understands that every setback is an opportunity to rise again, wiser and more determined than before. Strength is not about never falling. It is about always getting back up. It is important to recognize that strength is not something you are simply born with. It is something that is built over time. It comes from experiences, from challenges, and from choosing to fight instead of surrender. Every time a woman stands up for herself, every time she refuses to settle for less than she deserves, every time she pushes forward despite the odds, she is strengthening herself. She is proving to herself and to the world that she is not fragile, not weak, and not someone to be overlooked. The world does not always make it easy for women to embrace their strength. Society often rewards compliance and punishes those who dare to be bold, independent, and self-assured. But a strong woman does not wait for permission to take up space. She does not ask for approval to chase her dreams or to stand up for what she believes in. She understands that her power lies within her, and she refuses to let anyone take it away. She does not need to be saved because she is more than capable of saving herself. Strength is about knowing that you are enough as you are. It is about embracing your voice, your power, and your identity without fear or apology. It is about refusing to dim your light to make others comfortable. The world may try to silence strong women, but history has shown that those who refuse to be silenced are the ones who create change. A strong woman does not just survive, she thrives, she leads, and she inspires others to do the same. There is nothing wrong with kindness, with love, or with compassion, but these qualities should never be mistaken for weakness. A woman can be both gentle and unbreakable, both caring and powerful. She can carry grace in her heart while standing firm in her convictions. She does not have to choose between being soft and being strong. She can be both, but on her own terms. Strength is not about becoming someone else. It is about embracing who you truly are and refusing to let the world dictate your worth. From an early age, women are often taught to seek permission before making decisions, to wait for validation before pursuing their dreams, and to look to others for approval before asserting themselves. This conditioning runs deep, shaping how women view their own abilities and potential. The result is a cycle of hesitation, where many hold themselves back, second-guessing their choices and fearing judgment. But true empowerment begins the moment a woman stops seeking permission and starts living on her own terms. The need for approval is ingrained in society's expectations. Women are told to be polite, agreeable, and accommodating. They are often encouraged to put others' needs ahead of their own and to conform to roles that fit societal norms. While being kind and considerate are valuable traits, they should never come at the expense of one's own ambitions, self-respect, and dreams. A woman who constantly seeks permission to live her life the way she wants is handing over control of her future to others. Strength comes from realizing that no one else gets to decide her worth, her capabilities, or the path she chooses to walk. Waiting for permission is a silent enemy that holds so many back. It delays action, breeds self-doubt, and makes opportunities slip away. The truth is, no one is ever truly ready for the challenges ahead, and waiting for the perfect moment or for someone to validate a choice only wastes time. The most successful and fulfilled people in the world are those who move forward despite uncertainty. They take risks, make mistakes, and learn from their failures, without waiting for someone to tell them it is okay to try. The ability to take control of one's own life and decisions is what separates those who simply exist from those who truly live. Women have often been conditioned to believe that ambition is only acceptable within certain boundaries. Striving for success is encouraged, but only to a point. Beyond that, it can be seen as too aggressive, too bold, or too much. But ambition should never come with restrictions. No woman should feel the need to shrink herself to fit into a mold designed by others. True confidence comes from knowing that she does not need anyone's approval to dream big, to take up space, and to pursue her aspirations with full force. There will always be voices that try to tell a woman what she can and cannot do. Some will say she is not strong enough, not capable enough, or not smart enough. Others will impose expectations, telling her that her priority should be to conform rather than to stand out. But none of these voices matter as much as her own. The moment she stops listening to external limitations and starts trusting herself, she gains the power to shape her own destiny. She realizes that she does not need permission to be bold, to challenge norms, or to live life on her own terms. Fear of judgment is one of the biggest obstacles that keep women from taking charge of their lives. Many hesitate to speak up, to express their opinions, or to take risks because they worry about how they will be perceived. But judgment is unavoidable. No matter what choices someone makes, there will always be people who criticize or disapprove. The key is to recognize that the opinions of others should never have the power to dictate one's happiness or success. A strong woman understands that her decisions belong to her alone, and she refuses to let fear of judgment keep her from chasing what she wants. Breaking free from the habit of seeking permission is not always easy. It requires unlearning years of conditioning, pushing past doubts, and stepping outside of comfort zones. But the freedom that comes with self-ownership is worth every challenge. When a woman stops asking for permission, she discovers a level of confidence she never knew she had. She starts making choices that align with her true desires, rather than the expectations of others. She no longer waits for someone to open doors for her. She builds her own path. Every woman has the ability to take control of her own life, to define success on her own terms, and to chase her dreams without hesitation. It starts with a simple but powerful decision: to stop waiting and start acting. The world does not give permission to those who hesitate. It makes way for those who move forward with conviction. A woman who embraces this truth becomes unstoppable, carving out her own future with determination and purpose. No one is coming to hand over approval, to grant access, or to declare readiness. Those who wait will be left behind, watching as others take the chances they were too afraid to seize. The power to create the life one wants is already within. The only permission needed is the one given to oneself, the permission to be bold, to take risks, and to pursue a future without limits. The moment a woman realizes she does not need to seek permission, she steps into her greatest strength, and from that point on, nothing can hold her back. Fear is a natural emotion, something every person experiences at some point in life. It can be paralyzing, making even the strongest hesitate before taking action. But true strength does not come from never feeling fear. It comes from acting despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward even when fear is present. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck is not that one group is fearless, but that one group refuses to let fear control them. Fear often disguises itself in many forms. It can be the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or the fear of the unknown. It whispers doubts into the mind, convincing people that they are not ready, not capable, or not worthy of success. But those who embrace courage understand that fear is nothing more than a mental barrier. It is a challenge to be faced, not a wall to be avoided. When someone acts despite fear, they weaken its grip, proving to themselves that they are stronger than their doubts. One of the most common fears is the fear of failure. Society teaches people to avoid failure at all costs, making it seem like a reflection of personal inadequacy. But failure is not the enemy, it is a teacher. Every mistake, every setback, and every misstep provides valuable lessons. The most successful individuals in history did not succeed because they never failed. They succeeded because they refused to let failure define them. They learned, adapted, and kept moving forward. The only true failure is refusing to try out of fear. Another powerful fear is the fear of judgment. Many people hesitate to pursue their dreams or speak their minds because they worry about what others will think. They fear being laughed at, criticized, or misunderstood. But the reality is that no matter what someone does, there will always be opinions. There will always be those who disapprove, who question, who doubt, but those opinions have no real power unless they are given importance. True courage comes from realizing that the approval of others is not necessary for success or happiness. Those who act despite the fear of judgment free themselves from the invisible chains that hold so many back. The fear of stepping into the unknown is another major obstacle. People often choose to stay in their comfort zones because it feels safe and predictable. The unknown is full of uncertainty, and uncertainty is uncomfortable. But growth never happens in comfort. The most incredible opportunities, the greatest transformations, and the most meaningful experiences are found outside of the familiar. Those who dare to step into the unknown, even when fear is present, open themselves up to endless possibilities. The risk of discomfort is far outweighed by the reward of personal and professional growth. Courage is built through action. The more someone faces their fears, the stronger they become. It starts with small steps, speaking up in a meeting, trying something new, setting boundaries, or pursuing a goal despite uncertainty. Each step taken despite fear reinforces the truth that fear does not have to dictate one's life. Over time, these small acts of courage add up, transforming fear into confidence. The strongest individuals are not those who never feel afraid, but those who refuse to let fear hold them back. Confidence is not something people are born with. It is something that is developed through experience. Every challenge faced, every difficult conversation had, and every bold decision made strengthens inner confidence. Fear diminishes with each action taken against it. The more someone proves to themselves that they can overcome fear, the less power fear has over them. What once seemed impossible begins to feel achievable. What once caused hesitation becomes a source of motivation. Fear will always exist, but it does not have to be a roadblock. It can be a guide, signaling where growth is needed. If something feels scary, it often means it is worth pursuing. The most fulfilling paths in life are often the ones that require courage. Looking back, the biggest regrets are not usually the risks taken, but the opportunities missed because of fear. No one ever truly feels ready for the biggest moments in life. The first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most important. The world does not wait for those who hesitate. It rewards those who take action. The key to overcoming fear is to take that first step, no matter how uncertain it feels. Once the journey begins, fear loses its power, and courage takes its place. Those who choose to act despite fear set themselves apart, proving that strength is not about never feeling afraid, but about refusing to let fear win. Respect is one of the most fundamental aspects of a person's self-worth, yet many people, especially women, have been conditioned to tolerate disrespect in different forms. Society often teaches women to be accommodating, to remain silent in uncomfortable situations, and to endure mistreatment rather than standing up for themselves. However, true strength comes from understanding that respect is not something to be begged for, it is something to be demanded. No one should ever tolerate disrespect, whether it comes from family, friends, colleagues, or even themselves. Disrespect does not always come in obvious forms. It can be subtle, being constantly interrupted, having opinions dismissed, or being spoken to condescendingly. It can be disguised as jokes that diminish a person's value, expectations that undermine their ambitions, or relationships that make them feel unworthy. The problem is that when disrespect is tolerated once, it often continues and even escalates. The moment a person allows themselves to be treated as less than they deserve, they are giving others permission to continue treating them that way. Standing up against disrespect is not about aggression or confrontation. It is about setting boundaries. Boundaries communicate what is acceptable and what is not. They define how a person expects to be treated, and when enforced, they protect their self-esteem and emotional well-being. Many people fear setting boundaries because they worry about how others will react. They do not want to be seen as difficult or uncooperative. But the truth is, people who genuinely respect and care about someone will also respect their boundaries. Those who get upset or offended when boundaries are set are often the ones who benefited from a lack of them. One of the most important things to remember is that self-respect sets the standard for how others treat you. If a person does not respect themselves, they make it easier for others to disregard them as well. Self-respect is reflected in the way someone speaks, carries themselves, and refuses to accept treatment that undermines their dignity. It is in the ability to walk away from toxic situations, to say no without guilt, and to choose self-worth over the need for approval. People who command respect do not do so because they demand it loudly, but because they embody it silently. There is a difference between being kind and allowing oneself to be disrespected. Kindness should never come at the cost of self-worth. Many people confuse being nice with being a pushover, believing that avoiding conflict and keeping the peace is the best way to be liked. But being liked is not the same as being respected. A person can be kind, empathetic, and understanding while still demanding respect. True kindness includes self-respect, and anyone who requires a person to lower their standards in order to be accepted is not worth keeping in their life. Respect must also be applied in relationships, whether they are romantic, professional, or personal. Many people stay in relationships that diminish them, believing that love or loyalty requires endurance. They tolerate being spoken down to, being ignored, or being controlled because they fear being alone. But love without respect is not love at all. It is control, it is power imbalance, and it is a slow erosion of self-esteem. A relationship should never require someone to sacrifice their self-worth. If a person has to diminish themselves to be loved, then that love is not real. Workplaces are another area where disrespect is often tolerated. Many people, especially women, hesitate to speak up when they are overlooked, underpaid, or not taken seriously. They fear backlash, criticism, or being labeled as difficult. But remaining silent in the face of injustice only allows it to continue. Speaking up, demanding fair treatment, and knowing one's worth in professional spaces are all acts of self-respect. No one should feel grateful for being given less than they deserve. The moment a person starts asserting their value, they change the way others perceive them. Tolerating disrespect from oneself is just as harmful as accepting it from others. Many people engage in negative self-talk, belittling their own abilities and diminishing their own worth. They doubt themselves, settle for less, and allow fear to dictate their choices. But the way a person speaks to themselves matters. Self-respect includes treating oneself with the same kindness and encouragement that they would offer to a loved one. The strongest people do not tear themselves down internally, they build themselves up, knowing that their own voice is the most important one they will ever hear. Walking away from disrespect is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate display of strength. It is choosing self-worth over comfort, peace over toxic familiarity, and confidence over fear. No one should ever feel obligated to stay in a situation where they are not valued. The ability to say, "I deserve better," and to act on it is what separates those who merely exist from those who thrive. Respect is a non-negotiable foundation for a fulfilling life. It cannot be compromised, traded, or postponed. A person who demands respect commands presence, inspires change, and sets a standard not just for themselves but for others around them. The world treats people the way they allow it to, and when someone refuses to tolerate disrespect, they teach others how to treat them. Strength is not about overpowering others. It is about refusing to let anyone overpower you. The decision to demand respect, set boundaries, and stand firm in one's worth is the ultimate act of self-empowerment. Strength is often misunderstood. Many people believe it is about physical power, dominance, or the ability to control others. But true strength is something much deeper. It is about resilience, the ability to stand firm in the face of adversity, and the courage to keep moving forward despite challenges. The strongest people are not those who never fall, but those who rise every time they do. Strength is built through struggle, refined through setbacks, and proven through persistence. Life is unpredictable, and no one is immune to hardships. There will be moments of loss, failure, disappointment, and betrayal. There will be times when everything seems to be falling apart, and the temptation to give up feels overwhelming. But true strength is not about avoiding hardship. It is about facing it head-on. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become more resilient. Those who embrace difficulties instead of running from them discover an inner power they never knew they had. Resilience is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. It is the ability to take a hit and keep going, to face rejection without losing confidence, and to endure pain without losing hope. Many people allow setbacks to define them, believing that failure is a reflection of their worth. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey to success. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of perseverance. Those who rise above difficulties understand that setbacks are temporary, but giving up makes failure permanent. Self-belief is an essential part of strength. The way a person sees themselves determines how they respond to challenges. Someone who believes in their abilities will face obstacles with determination, while someone who doubts themselves will hesitate, retreat, or settle for less. Confidence is not something a person is born with. It is something that is built through action. The more risks taken, the more challenges faced, and the more victories won, the stronger that belief becomes. Even in moments of doubt, true strength means choosing to believe in oneself despite uncertainty. Many people allow fear to dictate their choices. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change. All of these can become barriers that prevent growth. But fear loses its power when faced directly. The strongest individuals are not those who never feel afraid, but those who refuse to let fear control them. They take risks, knowing that every great achievement requires stepping outside of comfort zones. They embrace uncertainty, understanding that growth only happens through discomfort. Strength is found in the ability to act, even when fear is present. Another sign of true strength is emotional resilience. Many believe that showing emotion is a weakness, but in reality, the ability to process and express emotions in a healthy way is one of the greatest forms of power. Suppressing emotions does not make someone strong. It only builds internal stress that eventually leads to breakdowns. Strength is about acknowledging pain, disappointment, and frustration without allowing those emotions to define or control one's actions. It is about choosing to rise above negativity, to find lessons in hardships, and to keep pushing forward with a clear mind and heart. Independence is also a major part of strength. Relying on others for validation, happiness, or direction weakens personal power. A truly strong person does not wait for someone else to fix their problems, approve their choices, or make them feel worthy. They take control of their own lives, make their own decisions, and trust their own instincts. They understand that depending too much on external validation gives others control over their happiness. Strength means standing firm in one's values, making choices with confidence, and not allowing outside opinions to dictate self-worth. Building strength is a daily process. It is not something that happens overnight, nor is it something that is achieved once and never tested again. Every day brings new challenges, new doubts, and new opportunities to either grow or remain the same. Those who are truly strong commit to continuous improvement. They do not wait for the perfect moment to start working on themselves. They take action now. They train their minds to stay focused, their emotions to stay balanced, and their willpower to stay unshaken. The ability to stand alone when necessary is another hallmark of true strength. Many fear solitude because they associate it with loneliness. But in reality, being able to be alone without feeling lost is a sign of deep inner confidence. Those who rely too much on others for direction or companionship often struggle when left to face challenges on their own. But those who are comfortable in their own presence, who trust their own decisions, and who know their own worth, can stand strong in any situation. Independence is not about rejecting others. It is about knowing that one's strength comes from within, not from external sources. Life will always present challenges, but strength is what determines how those challenges are handled. It is not about avoiding hardship, but about rising above it. It is not about never falling, but about always getting back up. Strength is not something given, it is something earned through resilience, perseverance, and self-belief. Those who choose to cultivate strength in every aspect of their lives become unstoppable, capable of facing any challenge and turning every setback into a stepping stone for success. Strength is not something that is given, it is something that is built through action, resilience, and self-belief. Life will always present challenges, but true strength lies in how those challenges are faced. It is about standing firm in the face of adversity, refusing to let fear dictate choices, and demanding respect in all aspects of life. It is about setting boundaries, embracing discomfort, and choosing growth over stagnation. Strength is not about never falling, it is about rising every single time. It is about knowing one's worth and never settling for less than what is deserved. The journey to becoming strong and fearless is not easy, but it is worth it. It requires facing fears, taking risks, and refusing to be controlled by doubt or the opinions of others. It means being independent, emotionally resilient, and willing to step outside of comfort zones. Strength is not loud or aggressive, it is steady, unshaken, and deeply rooted in self-respect. The strongest individuals are those who take control of their lives, who refuse to let circumstances define them, and who choose to keep moving forward no matter what obstacles arise. No one is born fearless, but everyone has the ability to become strong. It is a decision, a commitment to never give up, to always strive for more, and to demand the respect and success that is rightfully deserved. The world does not wait for those who hesitate. It rewards those who take action. So step forward, embrace the power within, and become the strongest version of yourself.